Greetings to you. I'm Keith Massey. The approach of the Christmas and Epiphany seasons annually brings renewed curiosity in the Magi, the so-called wise men from the East. And one of the enduring mysteries about them is, where did they really come from? In this video, I will demonstrate that the Magi were Arabs. And before someone may think this is in any way controversial, I will be showing that this was the oldest Christian belief on the matter, and also that the New Testament itself clearly teaches it. The origin and meaning of the word Magi. The Greek word magos, magoi being the plural, is of Persian origin. The oldest extant use of the word is in the 6th century BC Behistun inscription, produced by King Darius of the Persian Empire. The word magi is the Latinized version most familiar to those in the Western world. This originally Persian word denoted a practitioner of magic, and it is also the source of our word magic. The word traveled widely to eventually denote various practitioners of magic, regardless of their nationality. For example, in Acts chapter 13, a Jewish sorcerer named Elymas is called a magos. We first meet the Magi, the wise men of the Nativity story, in Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. After Jesus had been born in Bethlehem in Judea, in the days of King Herod, Magoi arrived in Jerusalem from the east. The number of Magi. The Greek text of Matthew does not actually state how many Magi there were. Numbering them as 3 is perhaps a reasonable assumption based on the fact that they bring 3 gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But various traditions within Christianity saw that number range as high as 12. What were their names? The oldest names attributed to the Magi are Bithysaria, Malikior, and Gathaspa. The more widely known names of Balthazar, Melchior, and Gaspar, clearly derived from those earlier names, come to us from a 14th century Armenian tradition, which further claims that the men came from Arabia, Persia, and India, respectively. Where were the Magi from? Given the known Persian origin of the word, it has been natural, even romantic, to imagine Zoroastrian astrologers traveling all the way from the area of modern-day Iran in search of the newly born Jesus. But despite the original Persian derivation of the word magos, the oldest recorded Christian belief about their origin comes to us from 2nd century Christian writer Justin Martyr, who states that the Magi were from Arabia. Perhaps this belief was influenced by Isaiah chapter 60, verse 6. All from Sheba shall come bearing gold and frankincense and proclaiming the praises of the Lord. Also, Psalm 72, verse 10. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts. And Justin Martyr was so confident that the Magi were from Arabia that he refers to their point of origin multiple times. An overlooked clue about the origin of the Magi. According to the Gospel of Matthew, the Magi arrived in Jerusalem asking where the newborn King of the Jews could be found, reporting that they had seen his star in its rising. When King Herod learned from scholars that Bethlehem was where the birth was supposed to have taken place, he sent the Magi there to find the newborn Messiah, and Herod told the Magi to then come back and report the location to him so he also could come and do him homage. Herod, of course, didn't really want to do that. He wanted to know where this baby was so he could kill him. After visiting Jesus, however, the Magi were warned in a dream not to return to Jerusalem and Herod. Their story ends simply with the following words. They returned into their country, by another way. Notice that the text does not state that they left Judea to travel in the direction of their own country. The key piece of information here is that when they left Judea, they entered directly into their country. In other words, their country shares a border with Judea. Here is a map of the Roman Empire at its greatest eastern extent in AD 117. In the time of Caesar Augustus, this province called Arabia Petraea was just still part of Greater Arabia. Notice that there are only two countries the wise men can enter when they leave Judea. They can enter Syria if they travel north, but the text says that they came from the east. The only other option is to enter Arabia. If the Magi were from Persia, or any point even farther east, they still would have had to travel through a portion of Arabia to get there. In other words, Justin Martyr was correct. They came not through, but from Arabia. And so, this Christmas and Epiphany, let us celebrate the Magi who came from Arabia. We'll never know with certainty their names or even exactly how many of them there were. But I believe I have demonstrated in this video that the fact that they came from Arabia is the soundest interpretation of the biblical text that tells their story.